一套電影，咁我哋今日好榮幸可以請到導演嚟到現場同大家做分享會。咁我哋一陣咧會用英文去問問題嘅模式嘅，咁希望大家如果有問題嘅話，可以準備定英文去問啦。係啊，咁我哋而家首先邀請我哋嘅導演進場。Welcome director to join us tonight. Hopefully our food has treated you the best of the world. So can you first share with us what did you eat today?
That's an easy question to start with. Thank you. I had a chashu for lunch and chashu and rice for dinner. So both chashu. Thank you.
Hopefully our food has treated director the best. And I guess the audience has a lot to ask other than what did she eat. So let's first start with some questions, if you have anything. Okay, let me start with you.
Hello, Miss Ito. Actually, I've been following your story since last year, and really admire your courage. And you've been to so many places to tell people your story. I really admire you, and I just want to let you know we always support you.
Thank you.
I got your book. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay.
Hello, director. First of all, I have to let you know that I really like the documentary very much. Yeah, thanks for bringing this to us. And regarding the documentary, I have a question that I remember. There was one part you were talking with investigator A through phone, and he was drunk, and you were asking that if he could speak out, but he was saying, if you marry me, I can do that, things like that. And after the call, it seems that you were disappointed, and I'm not sure that I'm understanding that correctly. You were disappointed because, not only because he doesn't speak out, also because he was using something like exchange benefit, like he was asking you to somehow like flirting. Yeah, this is what I understand from that, but I'm not sure how you felt there. Yeah.
Thank you for the most difficult question. After I hung up the phone, I was silenced for 10 minutes, and actually my editor saw it and she told me, and I didn't remember that part because I think it was too shocking to me. And usually because the camera person behind was Hannah, my producer, Hannah Ackling, and she only spoke English, so I always tell her what conversation I had, and I couldn't tell her because it was too much to process. For me, investigator A is hero who tried to do everything through investigation. Well, he wasn't the best in the beginning, but it's not him, it's the system, I would say. And I have really many mixed feelings. He never showed such a thing before and after, that was the only time, but then it's kind of reality that we have to live. You trust someone one point and someone can really turn around. Even that was a joke, and that hurt me, and that was, I had so many discussions with my editor, but then also my editor said that's our reality, that's our daily life, and we we decided to put it, because he was someone who had a power and he shouldn't have done that. But for me, so it's coexisting. He's someone I'm thankful, but for this moment, I was so shocked. So yeah, it's very complex, and I think no one is perfect. So I shouldn't just point him out, because it's not actually the individual that I want to showcase, but it's the system. You know, I think we didn't have a 110-year-old rape law, maybe it was much easier to report, and you know, or if no one, you know, intervened for the arrest, I didn't have to go public. So there are so many, you know, systematic program, the power program exists in what I experienced. So it's not him, it's not just him, but yeah, thank you for the difficult question. I don't know if I could answer. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Director Ito, for the very thought-provoking documentary. And yeah, I have a lot of questions that I want to ask you, but I will just ask two. So first, at the beginning, when your friend or your family was reading your self-confession, it actually gave us some background of how this has happened at the very beginning. It was like you were asking for a career opportunity as a social journalist. As a journalist, as someone who started my career as a journalist as well, I would like to ask, because you said you want to be a social journalist at the beginning, and then he tried to offer you a career in political. And after all this, it kind of become like you are, like willingly or unwillingly, a lot of people would think, even though you are using a journalistic format to do all this documentary publishing, it kind of become, you have become an activist, a journalist. So my first question is, if you are, if all this have not happened, would you still, what were your interests in social journalists at the beginning? And if all this have not happened, what would your, have you thought about how your journalist career would be, or how it could be different from what you are now? And my second question, I'll just keep it very short. And my second question is, you mentioned in the documentary that because you mentioned in the documentary that when you are trying to look at it as a third person, you can face it up like very brave, or very objectively and relatively less emotionally. But when you are becoming the character of the story again, you find you can't stand it. So would you say this kind of self-alienation is a kind of defense mechanism, or during this period have you been seeing any counseling or medical help throughout this period? Thank you.
Thank you. I think I thought about journalism and activism a lot throughout this filmmaking process. And I think, you know, as a journalist, there's no way that you're gonna be balanced. You're gonna pick the person to interview, you're gonna quote someone, the part that you pick, and you're taking stand in a way. And in the beginning I felt like, no, journalists shouldn't be activists. But then actually I can say I stand for what I stand for, so I am activist. During the film I was saying, no, I'm not the activist, because I had very mixed feeling and a conflict. But I think everyone has stand, and let's face it. So whatever your news you're reading, you have to know there are person behind it, and I think we all have to be truthful. Of course, it should be balanced in journalism, and this film is not, you know, it's documentary film, so it's a bit different from journalism, actually quite different from journalism. That was something that I struggled through making this film as well. In the beginning, I felt like I shouldn't be the one who's telling this story. It shouldn't be one-sided story. But then my editor, my team told me again, this is the film. It's okay to do one-sided story. So 4 years of editing, we changed a lot to be able to tell this story. And so, yeah, looking back, I don't know what kind of a journalist I have been if this didn't happen. I thought about it, what if? But even maybe I experienced a big accident or whatever, I think I will start talking about it. You know, the time I met Yamaguchi, I was already thinking about documentary film because for me, I wanted to do slower storytelling, more human way of storytelling. So I was more interested in to do that, and I was shifting myself. Maybe I want to do more documentary way or whatever that means. And so, yeah, I think whatever that happened to me or didn't happen to me, I think I would do something similar in the end of the day, I think. And what was the second question?
Self-alienation and legacy, any radical talk in between? Self-alienation, is that a kind of defense mechanism?
Oh yeah, well, it's, yeah, I felt like in the beginning, especially when I wrote the book, I couldn't put my emotion in the book. I felt like I felt like I had to write as a journalist. I shouldn't put what I feel, what I was emotional about. But then in this film, I want to face myself as a survivor. I want to tell a point of view as a survivor. And that was challenging. So the journey of making this film was like a hardcore exposure therapy session in a way. Me and my editor had to face over 450 hours of footage, and it was reliving the trauma I wish I could have forgotten, but I faced it. And so in the end of the day, it was therapeutic, I can say, but yeah, it wasn't easy. Thank you.
好咁我哋因為時間有限啦，咁我哋依家就我哋影大合照啦。咁到時如果大家仲有問題，我可以 online 可以問到導演啦，或者喺我哋social media 度留言都得嘅。咁我哋都會睇到。咁我哋套戲已經上映咗啦。咁如果大家中意套戲嘅話，歡迎隨便同朋友去推介啦，都分享下導演嘅經歷啦，睇下點樣可以inspire 到大家。係，多謝大家。Thank you, director.
Before you go, I know it was a hard watch, so please do take care of yourself tonight. You did something. I know it may be going to come after you, so I want you to take care of yourself. And thank you so much for being here. But for me, if anyone here is survivor, survive is the first thing. So don't push yourself and do whatever you can keep yourself survive. So do take care of yourself, and thank you so much for being here. It means a lot that you're here today. Thank you.